that is the network configuration management. Okay. Now, specifically how the network configs are taken up. Now, in the admin part as well, we have the entire device inventory for all different type of network devices. So currently with the system, we would be able to capture all the network device backups, that is like switches, routers, firewalls. Okay. System already has the device templates. On based of it fetches the details, it fetches the config files, okay, to the system, and they are being stored. Now, same way what we did in the discovery part, here also we have to do the same thing. We can create the NCM scan. With that, we can assign the credential profile. So, and yes, all the data here, the base protocol that would be used for configuration backups would be SSH. So we can create the credential profile for any devices, and right from here, we can schedule the backups of them. Okay, so once these credentials have been created, we can schedule on regular basis, so that the network config, running config, or startup config would be taken care by the system. Now, once the configs have been done, I mean, once the credentials have been created, here comes the NCM dashboard, which showcases us that total how many device config the system is taking on regular basis, what are the device type, what vendor device type that the system supports, okay, and how much and which OS basically it works on, right? Now, going on the Explorer site, here mostly all the things are captured. We can see that, okay, how many successful backups are there? So system showcases us all the successful backups taken till now. If at all any failed backups are there, system showcases the failed backups as well. Now, these are the major highlights on the NCM site. So let's say, for example, we see all the devices, like the network devices. So there is one of the config detected error that we can look down to here, right? This is how the system is doing is that, as I mentioned, the system is taking the running and startup backups of the devices. So once the backup has been taken by the system, if at all system identifies that, okay, this is a Cisco switch, which has this many configurations before the config has been taken, before the new config has been taken, okay, system will consider it as a conflict detected, wherein it will give us entire highlight that, okay, how many how many lines have been deleted. If at all during this specific backup, the new lines have been inserted, modified, or anything. Plus version wise also we can compare for each and every device type, okay. Yes, definitely the startup config and running config uh, uh, can also be compared over to this view, okay, because that is how the conflict detection happens actually. So we can see that, okay, this was in the startup backup, these were few of the lines that were added. In running config, that those are the lines which are not modified basically, okay. Those conflict detection the system will identify and notify to the admins, because the notifications are the most important part. So this is how the admins would be notified for that specific config detection between any devices. Now, one more feature that we have come up with this network configuration part is setting up the baseline, because in most of the customers, they have their own specific baselines at which their device are working, okay. So let's say, for example, we have a Cisco switch. So specifically for Cisco switch, we can define a specific baseline, okay. Then let's say, for example, we have a firewall, Fortinet firewall. So for that also we can set a baseline which is a reference for all other firewalls. So whenever any other firewalls are added to the system will start comparing it using the defined baseline. And if at all those defined baselines are breached, then system will alert you that as per the defined baseline, this configuration of this firewall is not matching up. So either the admins, they can set the configurations of that particular device as per the baseline, or they can alter the backup as well. And they can, they can reboot the previous backup to that specific device. So there will be comparison, there will be setting up the baselines. Admins, they can always take the backup anytime they want. They can sync the backups as well anytime, and they can also directly restore the previous backups just to map with the set baseline of the systems. Now, again, all these features are specific to customer as per their requirement. They can set all the configs, like they can set their own baselines. They can sync at their own pace. They can back up to any device. Okay, any actions can be taken care by the admins any point in time as per their infra requirement.